I'm Andrew Rothman, president of Gun Owners Civil Rights Alliance. This is a message for Minnesota's gun owners, Second Amendment advocates, and civil rights supporters. Let's all slow down and take a deep breath. We've seen some horrible things happen in the last couple days. While we don't have official confirmation of all the facts, it seems likely that a permit holder who didn't have any violent intentions was killed by a Minnesota police officer Wednesday night. Last night, apparently in response, 5 police officers were killed in Dallas and 7 others were wounded. In the last 36 hours, GOCRA leadership has been flooded with calls to support the police, to condemn the police, to be louder and to be quieter. There's little doubt that no one is going to agree with everything we say, and that's okay. We each see events through the lens of our own life experience and worldview, but some things need to be said. First of all, there isn't a war on police. There isn't a war on permit holders, and there isn't a war on the Black community. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't problems. It doesn't mean we don't have things to fix. But almost all citizens, permit holders, and police officers are good people, just trying to do our best and get through our days. What unites us is much more than what divides us, and what we need, as hard as it can be sometimes, to expect that we will deal with each other with respect, trust, and empathy. Now, we don't have all the facts about what happened in Falcon Heights. In fact, we barely have any facts. We do have a ton of assumptions, allegations, and theories. We think Philandro Castile was a permit holder. His mom and his girlfriend say that he was, but that data is appropriately private. We don't know what transpired during the traffic stop on Wednesday night. We don't know what was said and done, nor in what order. We do have a video made by Philandro Castile's girlfriend immediately after the shooting. In it, we can see that both she and Officer Yanez are very shaken up. Now, firearms trainers and investigators and psychologists all know that adrenaline messes with your mind, with your perceptions of time and space, and with your memory. That's why police officers are almost always given a day or two to settle down before being subject to an investigational interview, because in the moment their thoughts and memories are going to be jumbled and confused by the stress. So what do we know? We know that Philandro Castile was shot and killed by Officer Geronimo Yanez during a traffic stop on Wednesday night. We know that Castile has gotten a lot of traffic tickets in his life, but has never been convicted of any serious or violent crime. We also know that Officer Yanez has a clean record with no serious or violent crimes, nor complaints about his work as a police officer over the last 4 years. And of course, we have video of the aftermath. And that's about it. I pray that there's good audio and video from the squad car video camera and that it might shed some light on what happened. But we have to remember that people are fallible. It's almost certain that neither Philandro Castile nor Officer Yanez acted with any bad intent. But it is entirely possible, even likely, that Castile or Yanez or both made errors in communication, in judgment, and in tactics that contributed to the outcome. Bottom line, we need to get the facts quickly, transparently, and believably. Right now, there's a lot of distrust in the air. Distrust of the police by citizens, distrust of the integrity of investigations of public officials, distrust of permit holders, distrust of those who advocate for civil rights, and of course, distrust of the media which sees and reports events through its own lens. While healthy skepticism is good, a society can't survive when the people and the government can't trust each other at all. This Falcon Heights incident needs to be thoroughly investigated, and it needs to be investigated right now. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is already on the case, and that's good, but we believe that the Obama Justice Department ought to do its own independent investigation. We need to get to the bottom of what happened, and we need to do it soon. And when we get the facts from multiple independent sources, maybe we can trust that they're real and not a police cover-up. But whatever the results of the investigation, the police need to do better. Better training for police officers can go a long way toward ensuring that a tragedy like this doesn't happen again. We need to make that happen, and we need to do it now. Every police officer needs to recognize what most do already. Permit holders are among the very few certified good guys they will encounter on shift. And the police departments need to do more, much more, to gain the trust of citizens. And that means more accountability and more transparency. Yes, that means more body cameras, but it also means police leaders need to have the courage to get rid of the bad apples in their departments. It means that police contracts need to give the chiefs and the cities the authority to get rid of those bad apples. And it means that police officers have to cross the thin blue line. Police officers need to sometimes say, no, what this officer did is not okay, and he doesn't belong in our ranks. Now, nobody's perfect, and we know every organization has some marginal employees. But when these employees have a badge, a gun, and no direct supervision for most of their shift, the police can't afford to have any marginal employees. With great power comes great responsibility, and police officers wield enormous power. That means that the standard for police officers' conduct has to be higher. For our police officer friends, it may not seem fair, but you're coming from way behind. It's not all your fault, but it is absolutely your problem. Too many in the community don't trust you, and you're going to have to work hard individually and as a group to earn back that trust. Your life may one day depend on it. The community also needs to do better. Every permit holder has to remember that guns are powerful tools capable of strong defense and strong offense. And we need to remember that a police officer may not know a permit holder's status on initial contact. So permit holders, let's go out of our way to make really, really sure that we don't present a perceived threat to law enforcement officers, because your life may one day depend on it. Community leaders need to do more to break down the no snitch mentality in the community. Just as the police need to kick out their bad apples, so do we. When criminals hurt others, we need to work with the police to get those criminals caught and prosecuted and locked up. And we need to acknowledge that not every police use of force is unjustified. There are real bad guys out there, and they do resist and attack the police. Those officers have just as much right as you or I to defend themselves from attack, and they have the added duty to protect society. When I see trouble, I run away. Cops can't do that. They need to run toward trouble and risk their lives to protect us. And we all need to lose the us versus them mentality. The police aren't the enemy, and neither are the people. We all want to live in a safe, free society. So let's take a deep breath. Let's let the investigation proceed quickly. Let's trust but verify that the investigation is thorough and that it's honest. Let's be more kind, more tolerant, and more patient with the people around us, and treat them with more respect. We will be watching carefully, and we'll be working with our allies in the community and in law enforcement to work towards solutions that will help keep incidents like this from happening again. So, you've heard what we think. What do you think? Get in touch with us by email, on Facebook, or on Twitter, and tell us what you think. For Gun Owners Civil Rights Alliance, I'm Andrew Rothman.